Somewhere in the Pacific Ocean sits a tiny island, smaller than the state of a Maryland. Most people couldn't find it on a map, but right now, tonight, it is the single most important piece of land on planet Earth. This is TSMC, the Taiwan Manufacturing Company, a single factory complex covering 8 million square feet, running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And here's what nobody tells you: if this building disappeared tomorrow, the entire world would feel it. Your phone, your car, the hospital keeping someone alive right now, the missile defense system protecting an entire continent, every single one of them runs on chips made in that one building. One building, one island, one target. TSMC supplies chips to every major economy on earth: Apple, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm, the US military, South Korean tech giants, Japanese automakers. Every line on this map is a lifeline, and every lifeline runs through Taiwan. So here's the question that keeps defense analysts, tech CEOs, and world leaders awake at night. What if Taiwan, knowing China is about to take the island, decides to destroy TSMC first? What if the most valuable factory in human history simply ceases to exist? TSMC manufactures approximately 90% of the world's most advanced semiconductors. Not 30%, not 50%, 90%. The next closest competitor is years and hundreds of billions of dollars behind. This isn't just a factory, it is the world's only factory that matters. China has never hidden its claim over Taiwan. For decades, the People's Liberation Army has rehearsed a takeover scenario, and at the center of every war game, every strategic calculation, sits TSMC. Because whoever controls TSMC controls the future of global technology. But here's what most people don't know: Taiwan has a plan, a real plan, a contingency, referred to in some defense circles as the scorched earth option. If China invades and captures become inevitable, Taiwan has a theoretical ability to destroy TSMC before a single Chinese soldier reaches the factory floor. Imagine the moment: a government official is standing in front of a console, alarms going off outside, satellite feeds showing Chinese naval vessels crossing the strait, and one decision, one irreversible decision that will reshape human civilization. Do they press it? Today we answer that question. What if Taiwan destroys TSMC before China can capture it? What happens to your phone, your car, the global economy, the balance of world power? Buckle up, because the answer will genuinely surprise you. To understand what we are about to lose, you first have to understand what a semiconductor chip actually is. It is a piece of silicon about the size of your thumbnail, etched with billions, sometimes trillions of circuits, so small they are measured in nanometers. A human hair is 80,000 nanometers wide. TSMC makes circuit at 3. TSMC was founded in 1987 by Maurice Chang, a Texas Instruments engineer who just had a radical idea. Instead of designing chips, just manufacture them for everyone else. That model became the most strategically valuable business in history. Today, no competitor comes close. Apple designs the chips inside your iPhone, but they don't make it. TSMC does. Nvidia designs the most powerful AI processors on earth, but they don't make them. TSMC does. AMD, Qualcomm, MediaTek, the list goes on. These companies are chip designers. TSMC is the only. A modern car contains between 1000 and 3000 semiconductors. They control the engine, the brakes, the infotainment, the safety systems, the electric battery. Ford halted F-150 production in 2021 because of a chip shortage. Imagine that shortage becoming permanent. Hospitals depend on chips for MRI machines, CT scanners, ventilators, insulin pumps, and robotic surgery systems. When the global chip shortage hit in 2021, some medical device manufacturers waited 52 weeks for components. Now imagine not a shortage but a complete permanent stop. The US military is one of TSMC's most critical customers. Advanced chips power guided missile systems, radar networks, drone swarms, and nuclear command and control infrastructure. In a world without TSMC, American military superiority built over 80 years begins to erode almost immediately. The artificial intelligence evolution you are living through right now runs entirely on TSMC chips. ChatGPT, Google Gemini, every large language model, they train on Nvidia GPUs that TSMC manufactures. Destroy TSMC and you don't just pause technology, you stop the single fastest advancing technology in human history, dead in its tracks. Could Samsung or Intel fill the gap? Theoretically, yes. Practically, experts estimate it would take a minimum of 10 years and over $1 trillion to rebuild TSMC's manufacturing capacity elsewhere. That's not a supply disruption, that's a decade of technological dark age. Every major power on earth has a vital stake in Taiwan's fate, and specifically in TSMC's survival. The US wants it intact and free. China wants to control it. Japan and South Korea needs its output to keep their own economies running. Taiwan itself, it knows exactly what it possesses and it's not afraid to use that knowledge. Taiwanese defense planners have studied these problems for years. The conclusion many experts reach is this: if China's invasion becomes unstoppable, the most powerful thing Taiwan can do is not fight back with weapons, it's to detonate the one thing China came for. In the first place, this is the scorched earth plan, and it may already exist. Day 1, 0400 hours. Taiwan's military radar lights up like a Christmas tree. Hundreds of Chinese naval vessels departed ports simultaneously. Fighter jets fill the sky above the Taiwan Strait. This is not an exercise. The People's Liberation Army is moving. In Taipei, the emergency cabinet has been convened for 3 hours. The message from Washington is clear. US forces are mobilizing, but they are 72 hours away. The message from Beijing is so also clear: surrender the island or face complete conquest. Taiwan has one option. Washington will not voice out loud. The president of Taiwan lifts the phone on the other end, the head of TSMC's security division, and a three-star general. The authorization protocol requires three simultaneously confirmations. Two are already given. The third is this call. Time is running out. Three locations, three teams. Each team has received their orders separately compartmentalized, so no single person knows the full picture. They carry physical authorization keys, literal keys, not digital codes, because digital systems can be hacked or jammed. These keys cannot. At 0612 hours, all three keys are inserted simultaneously. There is a pause, 7 seconds of absolute silence, in which nothing moves and everything is still. The most valuable factor in human history takes its last breath, and then the charges detonate across 6 fabrication buildings simultaneously. Not one explosion, not two, 6. The sound is heard 30 kilometers away. In less than 4 minutes, the most sophisticated manufacturing infrastructure ever built by human hands is ruble, gone. 8 million square feet of clean rooms operating at atomic precision. Extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, the most complex objects ever manufactured, worth $200 million each, reduced to molten metal. 40 years of institutional knowledge vaporized in 4 minutes. Within 6 hours, the news break globally. Stock markets in Tokyo, London, and New York halt trading. Tech company stocks enter free fall. The supply chain that took 40 years to build, the invisible circulatory system of modern civilization, has just had its heart ripped out. Chinese forces reach the factory site at 0900 hours. What they find is a crater. The technology they came for, the capability they built their entire geopolitical strategy around acquiring, doesn't exist anymore. China has won Taiwan and gained absolutely nothing. The destruction is complete, the decision has been made, and now the question shifts from will they do it to what happens next. Because what comes next in the hours, days, weeks, and years that follow is a story the world has never lived through before and never prepared for. Hour 1. Global financial markets lose $3 trillion in value before trading is suspended. Every technology company on earth, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Samsung, ASML, has the same crisis meeting at the same time. Every one of them reaches the same conclusion: their entire production roadmap for the next decade just became impossible. Within 48 hours, every major automobile manufacturer on earth suspends production. Ford, Toyota, BMW, Volkswagen, not because their plants are damaged, not because their workers are gone, but because the chips that run every modern vehicle simply no longer exist in sufficient supply, and no new ones are coming. By week 1, electronics retailers globally stop restocking smartphones, laptops, and tablets. There are no new units to ship. Customers don't panic immediately. Most have devices already, but they sense something is wrong, something fundamental. The technology that runs their lives has quietly stopped updating. Here's what most people don't anticipate. By month 3, hospitals began rationing diagnostic equipment. Replacement parts for MRI machines and CT scanners cannot be manufactured. In developing nations where equipment maintenance was already stretched, people began dying from conditions that were previously treatable. And here's the consequence that will genuinely surprise you. By Year 1, the United States military begins experiencing critical chip shortages for weapons maintenance and upgrades. Guided missile systems require chip replacement that can no longer be sourced for the first time in American history. American military technological dominance is measurably declining. The artificial intelligence race grinds to a complete halt. Without TSMC chips, no new AI models can be trained at scale. The labs that were 6 months from transformative breakthroughs suddenly have nothing to run them on. The AI revolution that was rewriting civilization pauses mid sentence and goes on silent. The impact is not equal across the globe. Nations with large domestic tech industries, South Korea, Japan, Germany, feel the pain first and hardest. There is no region on the earth that is fully insulated. The world built one supply chain and then destroyed the middle of it. China controls Taiwan, but China gained nothing it wanted. The semiconductor advantage it sought, the technological leap that was supposed to supercharge its economy, the military for a generation, is a pile of ash. The island is conquered, the prize is gone. Beijing's 40 year strategy has produced nothing. By year 2, the world begins rationing. Governments implement chip reallocation systems, deciding which industries get priority access to the dwindling stockpile of pre-destruction inventory. Military first, medical second, infrastructure third, consumer electronics last. Your next phone is not coming for a very long time. By year 3, a single advanced semiconductor chip, the kind that used to cost $50, now trades on grey markets for thousands of dollars. Nations hoard them like gold reserves. Wars have been fought over less. The tiny object in your pocket has become the most fought over resource in human history, and the world had exactly zero backup plans. So, was Taiwan's decision the right one? Was destroying TSMC an act of genius? The ultimate deterrent? The ultimate denial of China's prize? Or was it the most reckless act in the history of modern geopolitics? Let's wait honestly, starting with what Taiwan actually achieved. What Taiwan achieved with the scorched strategy. 1. China gained zero technological advantage from the invasion. 2. The global community was forced into an immediate non-negotiable confrontation with China's aggression. 3. Taiwan demonstrated to every nation on earth that it would rather destroy its greatest asset than surrender it. That is a strategic statement with permanent consequences. But here's what Taiwan sacrificed. 1. The global economy entered a technological dark age, affecting billions of civilians who had no part in the conflict. 2. Taiwan's own economy, which depended on TSMC for 15% of its GDP, was permanently altered. 3. The world was reminded brutally how fragile it allowed itself to become by concentrating irreplaceable manufacturing in one place. After the destruction, the United States, Japan, South Korea, and the Netherlands immediately activated the most expensive industrial rebuilding project in human history. New fab sites were announced in Arizona, Osaka, and Dresden. The world finally understood the lesson it should have learned decades earlier. The most optimistic projections from semiconductor analysts suggest partial recovery within 6 to 7 years, full replacement of TSMC advanced node capacity, best case 10 to 12 years, and that's only if every nation cooperates perfectly, every investment flows on schedule, and no geopolitical disruption delays the project. History suggests at least one of these conditions will fail. Here is the honest assessment, there is no clean answer. Taiwan's strategy was simultaneously its most defensible act of sovereignty and one of the most constitutional decisions any government could ever make, not for its own people alone, but for 8 billion people who had no vote in the matter. That is the true weight of holding irreplaceable power. And here is the part of this story that is actually about you. Every person watching this holds a device made possible by that factory. Every electric car, hospital scanner, and a smartphone exists because the world agreed without really deciding to put all of its technology eggs in one basket. On one island, in one of the most contested pieces of geography on Earth, we all build this dependency together. The world's most advanced technology is only as secure as the supply chains that make it, and supply chains are only as stable as the geopolitical decisions of nations, leaders, and military planners most of US will never meet. If this video made you think differently about that tiny chip in your phone, drop a comment below. And if you want to explore more scenarios like this, you know what to do. Taiwan's decision, whether it ever happens in reality or remains a war game scenario, has already changed how governments think. The CHIPS Act, the EU CHIPS Act, Japan's semiconductor push, South Korea's $1 trillion fab investment. The world is slowly, finally learning the lesson. Never let one place hold something the entire world cannot live without. One island, one factory, one decision. The entire modern world balanced on the tip of one finger on something smaller than your thumbnail, built at atomic precision in a place most people still cannot find on a map. The real question isn't what if Taiwan destroys TSMC. The real question is why did we ever let it come to this?